Hello everyone, my name is Vinay Kumar and today I'm going to explain about time synchronization in local area network. Timestamping. Timestamping is an association of a dataset with a time value. In this context, time may also include date. Why is timestamp desirable? The closest example may be on our own PC. Whatever you create or save a document, the document is automatically assigned a date and time value. This value can be used to locate documents created on a certain date. For example, last Monday. Documents created within a certain time span last half of 1998 and the other in which a set of documents was created. By looking at these examples, it can be seen that the accuracy needed for timestamping is about the same as we expect from a wristwatch. These comparisons has an accuracy within a couple minutes, but as long as the clock does not stop, it does not really matter how precise it is. Synchronizing watches. Now that we know about PC timestamping, the next step is to connect the PC to a network, perhaps to the internet, and start exchanging documents and emails. What happens if the clock in your PC, that is, the clock used for timestamping, is wrong by a significant amount? If you have an email correspondence with someone, the reply, which is the most timestamped at the other end, might appear to be written before the question, which is the timestamp accurate. Alternatively, if you collaborate on documents, identifying the latest version may be problematic. The PC clocks are accurate enough when connected within a network, but the new requirement is for them to be synchronized. Synchronization means that they should show the same time at the same instance. We should go around to each PC, locate our wristwatch and set the PC to clock agree with it. This is tedious job, however, and we desire better solution. One solution is to elect and one PC to be the time reference, which means that every other PC could get the current time from it at least once a day and set its own clock to agree with the reference time. This solution works satisfactorily on local area network, but all PCs clocks will lack the time reference by the time it takes a clock value to travel from less time reference to synchronizing PC. This lag, which is generally less than 1 second, is good enough for office purposes. Enter the internet. Suddenly, the synchronization problem escalates. Since two collaborating PCs may be located in different time zones, and a synchronizing message may take a long time to travel from one PC to other. Fortunately, the Internet Network Time Protocol has a solution to both problems. This protocol involves sending a timestamped time request message to a time server. This time server adds an arrival timestamp and retransmit timestamp before returning the request message to the requesting PC. The requesting PC timestamp the message when it returns and uses all of the timestamps to calculate the correct time. This protocol and its little sibling, the simple network time protocol, are able to synchronize computers across the internet with a precision only a few milliseconds. Why is clock synchronization important? Consider two measurement nodes in a control system. Assume that both nodes are connected to a central controller through a network. Both measurements are sampled at precisely defined rate. Ideally, the central controller receives both measurements at the same time, but the vagaries of a network communication often make the impractical. Basic automation controllers timestamp the measurements as they arrive, assuming that the difference between the actual sampling time and the arrival time sampling is negligible. Some applications, however, demand a more precise timestamp, which means that the measurements must be timestamped at measurement nodes. Basic timestamping is effective as long as the measurement at two nodes are uncorrelated. If correlation between the two measurements is important, the clocks located at the two nodes must be synchronized in the sense that their difference must be below a given limit. This situation leads to the classical time synchronization setup with one time server which represents true time with respect to the network. and time client and time clients, which try to remain synchronized with the time server. Timestamping and substation automation. In the energy distribution world, a substation is an installation where energy is combined, split, or transformed. A substation automation (SA) system refers to a task that must be performed to control, monitor, and protect the primary equipment of the substation and its associated feeders. In addition, the SA system has administration duties such as configuring communications management and software management. Several tasks within SA need precise time synchronization, the most obvious being a phase difference measurement between two separate nets. In extreme cases, the measurement node may be kilometer apart, which means that the speed of light introduces a significant delay in synchronization process. On a standard cable, uh, the signal propagation speed is about 200 meter plus milliseconds. Due to extreme energy levels involved, SC synchronization requirements can be as challenging as plus or minus 1 microseconds. Therefore, we must compensate for delay due to speed of light whenever distances are greater than 200 meters. A new time synchronization standard in 2002, IEEE ratified standard 1588 for time synchronization across local area networks. IEEE 1588 is based on a protocol invented by Hewlett-Packard no, In short, IEEE 1588 is based on one node transmitting a time synchronization message followed by another time synchronization message containing the precise time of previous time message. Although this protocol fulfills class T5 requirements on some types of local area network, it is just susceptible to random switch delays as NTP. The analysis below is thus valid for both IEEE 1588 and NTP, stating the synchronization problem. A complete solution to high precision time synchronization problem is to reduce the randomness associated with the RTOS. This reduction can be accomplished by precise time stamping at hardware or driver level. In addition, it is important to verify that the low-level timestamp information is passed correctly to the time synchronization application level. Finally, it is necessary to remove the influence of P of t from calculation of the constants a and b. Handling handling the problem. We consider three methods for dealing the influence of random delay functions P of t, namely statistical, filtering, and erase methods. Statistical methods use a large number of measurements in the calculations, thereby reducing the influence of individual measurements. These methods require a large set of measurements, since the error of calculated estimate is approximately equal to something where is the mean measurement error and n is the number of measurements. Filtering methods provide a new estimate from the current measurements combined with a set of previous measurement and estimates. These methods work best when the error are distributed systematically about zero. Erasure methods evaluate the probability that the new measurement is contaminated by a delay. If the probability is greater than a predefined value, the measurement is erased and not used. Such procedures are usually simple implements but may ignore valid measurements and thus yield erroneous estimates. Passing time synchronization information. When performing time synchronization over a communication network, the layered protocol concept is inadequate, since the protocol stack functions as a processing pipeline where each layer does whatever it needs to do in whatever time it may take. Consequently, the hardware drivers, which is the lowest rank, knows when a frame is sent or received but cannot use the information. On the other hand, the application layer needs the timing information but has no standard way to obtain it. Timestamping and frame transmission. Timestamping and frame transmission is really two separate problems. The first problem is telling the hardware driver layer that a timestamp should be created when the frame is sent on the network. And the second problem is passing the timestamp back to the application. Various schemes can be invented to solve the first problem. The second problem is more difficult, and so far the only solution we have found is to use a callback function. Estimating the clock frequency offset. We now estimate the time climb clock frequency offset using one or more T1, T2 is corrupted with an unknown random delay. The frequency offset is due to initial tolerance, aging, and temperature drift. The initial tolerance is constant. The frequency change due to aging is sufficiently slow that is, it can be neglected inside calibration period, and temperature is usually stable after warm-up. As long as our measurement period is less than about 1 hour, these assumptions are usually fulfilled. One exception is a system in which the crystal temperature changes appreciably through the measurement period. In this case, we measure and calculate the average value of the over the measurement period. There are two different ways to estimate frequency offset, namely offline and online. The offline methods collect raw measurements for the entire measurement period before calculating the estimate, whereas the online method recalculates the estimates and every measurement. Both methods have their advantages and disadvantages. The offline methods always use the best estimation for this set of past measurements, while the online methods always give the best estimation for each current measurement. Although the estimation fluctuates from measurement to measurement, both methods give the same estimate at the end of the measurement period. The online method, however, tries to predict the final estimate earlier. If there is no extra time server traffic, the online method gives an accurate estimate after 3 measurements, 2 of which are used to determine the offset and slope, and the third to verify them. If there is significant server traffic, therefore spurious delays, the online methods use fluctuating estimates until a sufficient number of measurements have been collected. Statistical methods. The linear regression formula gives values for both A and B. In our case, it represents the frequency difference between the reference clock oscillator and the time plane clock oscillator. In the same way, B represents the mean difference between two clocks, as observed from the time client. Using B as a measure of the absolute offset is not advisable. However, since the linear regression formula tries to distribute the measured values equally on both sides of the estimated values, since all delays are positive, the intersection value will be sum of actual time offset and the average delay. Statistical analysis of the distribution of the delay is given in the sidebar. Delays and probability distribution. The conclusion is the distribution does not confer to any well-known statistical distribution formula, and the average delay is therefore unpredictable. Using the intersection formula to calculate the first time offset, thus gives an error equal to the average delay. Conclusion. A precise time synchronization implementation should contain the following elements: a high priority interrupt connected to the network controller interrupt to obtain precise timestamps, a callback mechanism for delivering the timestamps to the time synchronization main application, a simple two-point prefilters, preferably a dual-point prefilters, a procedure for calculating the low clock frequency offset, either linear regression or mean slope, and an 8-point sliding minimum filter, or preferably a 16-point sliding minimum filter for calculating the absolute time offset. Careful attention to that such implementations can fulfill the requirements for clock people. Yes. Thank you. That's all.